Spurs Rewind, and I'm Vicki Villareal, and joining me today is Rocky Garza Jr. And do you want to introduce yourself, or should I introduce you? Joe. Joe's back.
I'm back. The prodigal son has returned. Just back for one episode because I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about some of the stuff that's going on with the All Star at the All Star weekend, and specifically Jeremy Sochan. Yeah, Vicky,
For
the
sure.
conversations that we've had, before we get in here, Vicky has been making me crack up. I mean, he's on a roll. Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know.
Oh, it's good to have you back. I'm glad you're on here with us today. So, before we get started talking about some of the contract stuff, all-star stuff, um, Bally Sports. Let's dig into that a little bit.
Ooh.
Yeah, a couple days ago, Bally Sports, I guess, defaulted on some sort of payment, or their parent company defaulted, I believe. So, long story short, it's looking like Bally Sports is going to file for bankruptcy, which means that a bunch of these teams, major league teams, are going to have to figure out a different way to stream and air their games. I don't know the exact number, but a lot of NBA teams, a lot of MLB markets, and I think some NHL all use Bally Sports currently.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a bit of a change. Probably, I guess, this next season would be when that would go into effect. They're probably all kind of scrambling right now to figure out what they're going to do. And I know, Joe, outside of this, you kind of mentioned the potentials as alternatives are going to be Amazon, potentially Apple, Disney Plus, streaming options, or maybe even NBC.
Yeah.
NBC, would it be NBC streaming, like Peacock? Have you heard any?
That's the thing is
Do
that
you
when I
know?
looked at the article for CNBC, that's where I saw them actually talking about this as well. Is that they had mentioned that
Mhm.
NBC wants to throw their name in the hat as well if the bidding does come up, because right now, which is Disney and I believe it's Warner Discovery that both have contracts to show the NBA games, which you know Disney owns ESPN, which they're showing the games there, and of course Warner Brothers, HBO or Warner Brothers Discovery, should I say? They own Turner Sports as well, where you see inside the NBA and all that, and they show the games on
Right.
TNT. Their contracts are going to be coming up next year, and when their contracts start coming up, they can either choose to go ahead and renew them, or if they go ahead and just say, or the league says, let's go ahead and open this up. Other companies have already stated that they show interest, which is Apple, Amazon, and NBC. And NBC, that's pretty big because they not only want to show the games on the Peacock network, and they also want to show them on regular over-the-air TV as well. But more importantly, they're also saying that if they get the opportunity, they would like to approach the NBA about even showing some of the playoff games on their streaming service, which is the Peacock network. That's interesting, because again, has not been shown on NBC, and the NBA has not been shown on NBC for over 20 years. And everybody remembers the infamous jingle. You can see it all over
Yes.
social media. Yep. Everybody wants that back,
Yeah.
so it was the best jingle ever. But, right now what's going on with the Bally Sports and the regional sports network offerings is that they have 14 Major League Baseball teams, including the Detroit Tigers. They're kind of up in the air right now, because Bally
Wow.
had $140 million interest payment that was going to be due this month, but since they're expected to file bankruptcy sometime in the coming week, they can go ahead and get a 30-day grace period, so to speak, to go ahead and restructure not only that interest payment, but also the remainder of the contracts that they have with these regional sports networks, because they carry MLB, NHL, and the NBA. And that is going to possibly affect Spurs fans and how they view or ingest watching games from here on out. Because if
Right.
Bally Sports can't afford to pay, then the NBA, NHL, MLB can actually rescind their offers, and their Bally Sports going to go under because they don't have a vessel to show these games anymore. So interesting to see what will transpire moving forward, because they own the blackout market, right? So anytime you want to
Ye
watch a game, you can't, even if you have NBA League Pass. But if they lift that ban and there's no longer a blackouts, then maybe fans can go ahead and watch Spurs games through NBA League Pass or another service. Maybe
That
they
would be awesome.
yeah, or maybe
That
they
would be
open it up
really
to
cool.
yeah, maybe they open it up to NBC, Amazon, or Apple
Right.
TV, and there you go. You have other options. So interesting
Yeah.
nonetheless.
I did want to ask, I'm guessing this is the case, but I'm a little confused about this. So, if it goes to a local market to produce the shows, say Ken's Five produces most of the shows and airs them, um, what would happen to people who are fans that in the general Southwest region of Bally Sports right now, they wouldn't be able to watch the games,
Well, here's
right?
the
Like,
interesting thing is like, say for example, you have Ken's Five. They don't have the money
mhm,
to go ahead and bid.
yeah,
They just carry a handful of games. But let's say, for example, if the blackout is lifted, then you
yeah,
have the other sister networks that could, possibly choose to air these games in those markets where they know that Spurs fans are wanting to go ahead and see those games. So maybe it wouldn't be exclusive just to Ken's Five. Maybe it would be exclusive to Ken's Five and their sister stations, so they could actually air these games in their select markets. But again, these TV deals are kind of wonky in a way, so we have to see who has exclusive rights and who would be willing to, who has the right to actually show these games. Because right now it's only going to be available to like the CW, which is going to be, I think it's what, channel 4.2 in our local area here,
yeah,
or
Mhm.
10.5, and those are the only ways you're able to see the games for free over the air. Or on occasion, you'll see a game on ABC, and it's probably not going to be a
yeah,
Spurs game. Let's be honest. You know,
yeah. Probably not.
I'm just waiting
Well,
for Bally to be gone, honestly.
yeah, it
yeah,
has been frustrating. I liked that they did the month by month thing recently, but it should have been done a long time ago. I think they would have had a lot more
yeah.
users.
The app
Maybe they
isn't very
wouldn't have
good
had to
though.
file bankruptcy.
Yeah, that app isn't good. Like,
No,
you can only
it's
watch
not.
games like it's the viewing experience is good on a PC, but outside
Yeah,
of that, when
it
you want to watch
glitches
it,
a
yeah, it
lot.
glitches on your phone, it glitches on your
Yeah,
smart TV, and it's like you're paying $20 for this. I'm like, no.
it's unfortunate. It really is because you'd think that with the like widespread use of it, it would have been much more integrated and like
Yeah.
integrative. I don't know what you even call it, but yeah, it's I don't know. I'm worried, but I'm just hoping
Mhm.
something good will happen that fans will still get to watch and it's not going to be, exclusive streaming on like Amazon Prime or something because that's just difficult. Not everybody can afford
What is
that.
your take on this whole thing, Rocky? We need to hear from you.
I mean, it was hard for me because I don't want Bally Sports, and I got off cable 3 years ago, and so I would watch it on YouTube TV, like through Fox Sports, and then once they announced
Yeah.
Bally, it was very hard for me to watch games because I would have to go somewhere, I would have to stream it, and it was just a pain in the butt. When I was on Kids Five, I'd watch Spurs games. So now
Yes.
it's just kind of me deterred away of watching most games because of Bally. You know, if it goes on NBC, that would be very cool because as y'all said, the little sound. I remember that just
Yes.
on my
The,
childhood. I remember that
the little
clearly.
jingle.
You made me just like think of it when y'all were talking. I was like, wow, that's crazy. That I just it clicked like
Dun,
that.
dun, 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 dun. There we go.
Yeah, yeah, and you just see in those iconic videos like NBC, the NBC
Yes.
symbol. But I think it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do. I mean, I hope
Yeah.
they go like maybe like a YouTube TV or Amazon Prime, like you said,
Yeah.
or Disney Plus. I mean, I have all those, so I'm like, I'm cool with it.
You're cool with it. I have
Yeah.
them too, honestly. But I just feel so like I don't know. I mean, back in the day, it was pay-per-view, so I guess it's kind of
Oh,
going for full circle.
Mhm.
So kind
yeah.
of
You don't want to
stinks,
get back
but
into the pay-per-view, Vic. You remember what thing? It was like $60 to watch a game. I was like, it was
I
crazy.
never watched them. I was too little,
Um,
and my parents were like, no.
yeah, that happened when the Spurs, way back when the Spurs were on their playoff
Yeah,
run in
in the
1999.
'99 championship.
Yeah,
I
when you
remember
wanted to see
listening
them
on
beat
the
the Lakers.
radio.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
had to watch. You had to pay to watch the game, and it was like $60, something like that. So you had these
I
huge,
didn't know it was
massive
that
viewing
expensive.
parties with all the
Yes,
familia getting together to watch the game because
they would
everybody was
pay for
pitching
it.
in.
Pitch in.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, yeah, I guess we'll keep people posted, once Joe learns something because he's really into the tech side of stuff.
Yeah.
We'll have to share that on Spurs
Yeah. We'll
Twitter.
give you updates.
Yes, for sure. So moving on, the Spurs had some pretty big recent contract additions. Charles Bassey's contract was converted to a full NBA, no longer two-way player. So he's a set part of the roster now. And then Malachi Branham's contract, let me take a look at those details.
Well, it was Charles
He
Bassey.
now
I think I was
has
getting them both confused. Branham
but
and
I think Branham too.
yeah,
Was it Branham? Who was it recently?
it was Bassey.
No, it was Bassey. Yeah, and then that new signing, the
Champagne.
guy that we can't say his name,
Champagne.
Julian Champagne, or however it's said. So yeah, what are y'all's thoughts on that? I was pretty excited to see Bassey's conversion for his contract. I think he's earned it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Then
tell.
we'll talk about it a little later with the All-Star stuff. But
Yeah, I'm gonna
yeah,
pitch
I
this
think
one
it's
to
exciting.
Rocky. Here, let's pitch it to him because
Yeah.
Spurs Twitter, Rocky knows Spurs Twitter is a mixed bag. Some fans were like excited that they gave Bassey they extended him a deal, and some fans were just like, you can't make him happy. It's insane. Like you can never
Yes.
make any of the fans happy no matter what. So what's been going on social media with these fans, Rocky?
I mean, like you hit the head on the nail. Like no one's ever satisfied, but for me, I'm on the side of it. It's not a bad signing. I mean, you did see
No.
him
It's
flourish in some games and show upside. This guy's still young, and it's not like you're breaking the bank to sign this guy to a multi-million-dollar deal. I mean, you're getting someone that's young, athletic, that fits your timeline, and he's getting rewarded for what he did.
yeah.
Is he a future starter? Who knows? But like, at least he's a quality player that's going to come off your bench and play his role to the best of his abilities. It's not like we're paying him the highest amount. I mean, I think the one not really a signing but trade or player that like Spurs fans were kind of like all like on the fence about was a Devontae Graham thing. When they traded for him, they're like, oh, he's too much money, this and that, and then you see him pop off in his first game, and they're like, oh my god, he's the best thing ever. So it's just like on and off, night and day with Spurs fans.
Yeah.
Like if a player has a crappy day, it's like I hate him so much, and then it's like, oh my god, he's the best ever coming when he like pops off, but then they want to complain about money, acting like it's coming out of their bank
Yeah.
accounts.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a good signing. Do you agree, Joe?
Look, I mean, I think it's a good signing because it's not like they're breaking the bank for the kid. They're extending him. I think it was at 10.2 million, and it's over 4 years. And there's a strong guarantee for him to get 5.2 million at least. The
Yeah.
other five is probably guaranteed with some type of incentives.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a bad
Yeah.
signing. Because if in the grand scheme of things, if he doesn't fit the timeline for whatever reason, you didn't go ahead and overpay for the kid. And you can also go ahead and at some time, if you feel like, the growth or the development isn't there, or the team is still losing and you want to do him a solid and let him go to a contender, you can trade him, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not, you're
Yeah.
not taking such a big cap hit. So I think it was a smart move by the Spurs. But again, you can't satisfy all the San Antonio Spurs fans. It's been one of those weird seasons. I get it. The fans are tired of losing. Nothing's
Mhm.
going right. The team's in the midst of setting a record for the most losses in a row. I think they're already at 14. I get it.
14.
Things are weird right now, but I mean, you have little
Yeah.
victories like this, moral victories to be happy with.
Yes.
And the other one is Malachi Branham and, his great play that he's had for the month of February. So that's another thing
Mhm.
you can have as a moral victory in the losing season. Look for the growth of the younger,
Right.
you know?
Exactly. So speaking of that, there's some pretty good fun, I guess, news for Spurs fans. I'm sure Spurs fans have already heard this, but happening this weekend, the Spurs have two people representing them. Jeremy Sochan is going to be playing in the Rising Stars game Friday night at 8 p.m. I think it's 8
9
p.m.
p.m.
Central Time,
Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern time.
9
Is
p.m.
8 p.m. our time.
Eastern.
Yeah.
And then Charles Bassey, who we were just talking about, is in the G League's next up game on Sunday at 2 p.m. So
I
what do
don't know
y'all
if he
think of
still
that?
qualifies though. Does he still qualify for that game? Because now they
He's still
gave him a
listed.
contract,
He's still listed, I guess, because when he was picked, he was a two-way player.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing, but I kind of thought that too, because now he's not a G League player.
Yeah.
I don't know. but he should be. I'm thinking he still is. I would say it's too late to pull in a replacement. But what do y'all think about that? Like, at least just the recognition. I mean,
Yeah.
even in a super record losing season, crazy out of the ordinary thing for the Spurs, there's still the recognition of Sochan doing well as a rookie, standing out. I think he's one of 7, right? Because they pick 7 rookies, 7 sophomores, and then 7 G League. I think that's how it works. And he's one of 7, if I'm correct. So he's one of a few rookies that the assistant coaches deemed worthy to do this. That's pretty promising, I think.
Yeah, it's
What do you
promising.
think?
You know, I like it.
Yeah.
You know, you have 2, you know, I guess silver and black team members here. You know, from the San Antonio Spurs that are going to go and represent, you know, the team in the NBA All-Star Weekend. And Jeremy Sochan, he's already, you know, out there doing his thing. He's mic'd up. You know, he was out there for the practice, and you know, he's showing off his new hair color. You know, it kind of looks almost like a raspa. So I'm
I
feeling that.
know.
I'm feeling that, Jeremy. I'm feeling that. You know, giving the
Yeah.
city some love with the raspa colored hair. You know, so
That's awesome.
His
What do you
hair
think,
probably
Rocky?
his hair probably looks like the same color as my jacket, man. I mean,
Maybe
yeah,
so.
it would match. It would match.
Hawaiian.
I'm gonna put him on, man. I'm gonna tag him, hey, bro. I'll give you my jacket for free
You can. If he scores.
Hey,
if he
if he's the
scores.
highest scorer, if he's the highest,
That'd be
if he scores the highest
awesome.
points right in this game, in the Jordan Rising Stars game, can we get
Yes.
Rocky to color his hair
That would be great.
Color my hair.
for the next Spurs Rewind? I mean, we
Yeah,
can
Rocky.
paint it
Rocky.
not permanent. It'll wash out, bro.
Yeah, I'll spray my hair if I
You'll
remember.
spray it.
Just remember.
Oh
Just
my
remind me.
gosh.
Oh, I'll
Oh my
remember. I'll go over and I'll
Oh
spray
my
your hair
goodness.
myself
Nah.
with
Oh
spray.
my goodness.
No, it'll wash out, Rocky. It'll wash out.
But you know, going off,
Oh
you know, what Joe said, it really just speaks volumes of, you know, these promising players that we have. I've been a Sohan homer since they drafted him, and I understand, you know, a rookie's gonna have its up and down. He's gonna look, you know, just in a sense, really bad. I know at the beginning of the season, people were like, "Why do we draft this kid? He was only averaging like 5 points a game, you know, but he was showing his works on the defensive side." But just to remind fans, you know, this guy was drafted because of his defense versatility. He was not coming in to be a top scorer. I mean,
Yeah.
if we wanted a top scorer, we would have made those moves to get a top scorer or shot for one. I mean, Sohan
Right.
is very young, and people are so impatient, and they don't want to give him the, you know, the opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some people are saying that he's already a bust. I'm like, it's been one season, not
Cool.
even a full season.
Well, somebody
Like,
on air was saying that he was going to be a bust, and he hadn't even really started just a handful of games. We will not
yeah,
name said person, but yeah, somebody said that. They're
and
crazy.
but yeah, in a sense, it's like, you know, how are you gonna label him? I mean, you got to respect. I know at one point he was shooting very bad from 3 and from the free throw line,
Yeah.
but he's making that effort. It would be different if he was just lazy and complaining and not making that effort to change
And
his
his free
ways.
throws. Changing his
Exactly,
free
and
throws.
even if it looks wonky, him shooting one-handed, I mean, if it goes in, it
It's
goes in. Like, who
working.
He's like
cares?
81% from the stripe now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
I
I'd
mean,
rather have a guy shoot super weird, and if he makes a shot, I mean, you saw Sean Marion in his life,
Yes.
so
Exactly.
and not only that, but
Exactly.
Sohan, he has a documentary that's supposed to premiere. It starts today, actually.
Oh wow.
It's a documentary that's called "Got Next" from Hoops Fix. It's a short documentary film, about 10 minutes. It's going to be premiering on the NBA app, so you can go ahead and check that out today if you download the NBA app. But it's pretty cool because I remember me and I think Jonas, we went to a handful of games already, and we saw a film crew, you know, following Jeremy
Oh
Sohan,
wow.
like not following him, but like after the game, like even before the games, you would see a film crew going in, you know, and then
Yeah.
after the game, we saw them coming out of the game several times, you know. And Jonas was like, "Hey, you know, that's interesting. You know, there's a documentary film crew there." So I was like, "Yeah, they're probably, you know, filming somebody." And we were thinking it might have
Yeah.
been one of the rookies, and sure enough, it was Jeremy Sohan.
Nice.
So it's cool.
That's
It's a
awesome.
documentary that's tailored around showcasing the talent that's coming out of the UK, and you know that's why
Oh
it's called
wow.
"We Got Next." So it's showing some of the rookies or some of those players that are,
Right.
you know, that made it over the pond over here to the US. So make sure you check that out.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's super cool. Well, Any final thoughts before we sign off for the day, y'all?
Yeah.
What are y'all thinking?
Kind of non-Spurs related, but I mean, who do y'all got winning the dunk contest? And
Oh
are you?
man,
But I want to going off that. Are you excited for NBA All-Star Weekend like you used to be in the past?
no. I'm excited to see the Spurs compete, the Spurs players that are in the
Yeah, the
games
Spurs
compete,
players.
but that's about it. Other than just the skills
Same.
challenge, 3-point shooting contest, maybe the All-Star game itself. That's all I look forward to. The celebrity game's a joke, it's not meant to be taken serious. It's just for fun. And the dunk contest is just horrid, man. And
What if it's
especially
good
that
this
they got Karl Malone. I'm like, come on, man.
What if it's good this year, Joe?
No, it's not going to be any good. It's just not.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
been stale. It's been stagnant, dude. Like
Yeah.
as far as them needing to go ahead and revamp the whole, let's say, layout of what they do for the NBA dunk contest. Aside from putting up, some type of flaming rings and trampolines, and I mean, what else can you really do at this point? And I would think, it would make sense to have more than one person from each team compete. If you're going to pick one player from a team, pick two. Let them do
Yeah.
something. If you have two guys trying to do a dunk, maybe on two courts at the same time, you have two rims and everything. Make it interesting. Show us something different. Like have different levels of rim. Put it up a little higher, put some down a little bit lower, and give them points based on where they're dunking from there. And put some flash to it. If you dunk from this part of the floor, you're going to get so many points. If you jump from here, you get so many points. Style points, depending on the spots they select from the floor. Do something, make it more interactive, like they got to do something about it, man. And make it like a video game, in other words. Have the court be
Yes.
interactive. Just use
Yes.
projectors, I mean, anything's better than what we're watching right now. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, man. We've seen it all already.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm just
At
gonna
this point,
watch
just
here
have
and
the
there.
mascots do the dunks. Just let them do it.
Who are you excited for, Rocky?
I mean, I watched the 3-point, I watched skills, I watched the All-Star, but
But who do you think is going to win the dunk?
I think Mac McClung's going to win, only because I've been
You
a
do?
Mac McClung. I've been a Mac McClung fan before he went to Georgetown. Like I watched him in high school and he was dunking and stuff. And I haven't seen Shedden Sharp. I like Jericho Sims because he went to UT. I don't know the other guy who's in it. I forget his name, but I think Mac McClung's going to win. He's get the most hype. My idea to fix it is they need to bring in pro dunkers, but the NBA will never do that because they don't want to get embarrassed. I mean, if you look at some of the pro dunkers, I want you to look up a guy named Isaiah Rivera. If y'all haven't, whoever's watching it, both of y'all, this guy dunks insane. Like it's crazy how like what he does, and like if they about pro dunkers, you know how cool that would be to see them like go against NBA players. Like you're not gonna
That would be cool.
You're not gonna get a John Moran or Aaron Gordon ever again. I mean, unless there's some incentive like they did it, but pro dunkers, man, that would be badass. Excuse my language.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, no, they used to have a show about that. I think it came out on TNT or one of the shows that used to show NBA games on, and that was all the show was about. I believe it was on TNT, and it was just about professional dunkers dunking, and they had NBA players, past NBA players and present, go out there and kind of help judge the dunks that they were seeing out of these guys, and some of them looked like they did not have any hops, like they didn't have any little bunny hops to them, like they couldn't do nothing, and they would surprise the heck out of you, like. They could jump, and like some of these guys were pretty short, but again, professional dunkers are a different breed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
Hey,
true.
maybe we can get Vicki to do a dunk. Maybe we get that little tykes, little.
Oh my gosh, no.
Put a little plastic car there. Come on, Vicki.
And that's the show, y'all.
Did y'all ever see that little kid who went viral for his dunks?
No, I didn't see that.
Really? I'm gonna send it to y'all in the chat. There's a little kid.
Put it on Twitter. Put it on.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. I gotta find his name. But this kid was on TikTok, like he had like a whole highlight. He was doing like legit between the legs dunks and everything, like on one of those courts you hang on like your door. But still, like it's still cool. And like I remember, I saw him like growing up, and I think he's like 10 now. I gotta look it up.
Yeah, share that with us.
Thing that Silverman did, he was showcasing the VR, virtual reality. That's
technology
they've been working on.
Dude, did you see that, Vicky?
I haven't seen that. No.
Ahmad Rashad, he scanned him with the phone, right? He stood up on stage and he scanned him, and then they were showing highlights from another game, and they showed one of the guys that was going down the court full length to go ahead and dunk, and they were able to scan Ahmad Rashad, and then they kind of like highlighted the player that they wanted to superimpose Ahmad Rashad's scan on. So then it looks like Ahmad Rashad in his street clothes
Well, that's
running
so
down the
Yes.
court
weird.
and dunking it. It looked pretty cool.
Yes, it was so
That's
cool. And I was reading the
crazy.
comments and people are like, the day has finally come when I can dunk on LeBron. Like all is good in the road now.
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
my goodness. That's
it's
super cool.
it's
I'm gonna
pretty
have to check
cool.
that out.
Yeah, but next
Yeah.
year we have to have a Project Spurs dunk contest. I want Vicky and Rocky to compete. Little Tykes, come on, it's a little
No.
Tyke sport.
Oh my gosh. Y'all
It'll
are
be
crazy.
funny. It'll be funny. You only have to jump like 3 inches or something.
But he's gonna do like a roll and like a stop, drop, and roll, and then like blindfolded dunk.
She's
No.
gonna stop and not even jump. She's just gonna go just
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, this has been fun. Thank you both. Thanks for joining us, Joe. It's been a long time.
yeah, it was fun.
Even though you're always on the back end of the show, but
Yeah.
glad to have you on with us today. It was very fun. I guess we'll post all these links of the stuff we're talking about.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to
Now
send
I
them
need
you
to
don't have
see
to
this
give your
stuff.
name anymore when we're
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and have the little graphics on the bottom that's gonna showcase everybody's
Follow us on
handles.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Follow us on the
Follow all
Twitter.
of us on Twitter. Yes. And Project Spurs. Follow Project Spurs and check out projectspurs.com to check out the latest Spurs news. So for Joe, Rocky, and myself, have a great day, and we'll see y'all next time.